My name is Isaac Nyangolo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Zeraki. We started Zeraki at the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. That's when we started our operations. And we're an Edtech startup, mainly focusing on the nexus of tech and education, using tech to solve some of the gaps that we saw in the education sector. One of my friends, Doris, was investing in Zeraki. And she needed to find an effective way of transferring funds from the US to Kenya, and consulted Teddy of Harbor to advise her on how to transfer the funds. Teddy was curious to know what's the funds for. When Doris mentioned Zeraki, Teddy was interested in hearing more about Zeraki. Had a conversation with Teddy of Harbor, and yes, we ended up getting like an investment from Harbor. The amount of funding we could access from the pool of friends was not as extensive, but it was patient, which was very critical for us, especially in the first 5 years of our growth. The reason is Edtech is a very new field where the insights to drive whatever activities that someone needs to do is not yet out there. And it was really important for us to get capital that was very patient with us as we iterated through different models, as we iterated through different products, pivoting from one idea to the other. And it's only 2 years ago that we got to the place of confidence in seeking institutional funding. And again, this was very fortunate for us. And Harbor is part of like one of those stories. Because even though Harbor comes from within the wider universe of our network, Harbor was the first sort of institutional fund that we had to, that we raised from, giving us an opportunity to test out how to think about our model in very objective or systematic way, rather than, let's say, from the friends and family, where they just needed to trust that you're doing the right thing, more like trust rather than the verify bit. So Harbor helped us make that initial transition. When it comes to the funding space in Kenya, we have two silos where most entrepreneurs exist in one silo, most investors exist in another silo. There isn't a way for these two communities to speak with each other in a direct, candid, honest way. And that means that most startups that are considering funding feel excluded from the real conversation or the real or the underlying assumptions for the conversation. And trust becomes an important currency to bridge this gap between the entrepreneurs and the funders. So in our case, having Harbor, which was coming sort of from the universe of people that we already knew, meant that we trusted Harbor a lot more than we will trust other institutional investors, where the relationship will be strictly formal.